A science fiction fantasy, three-dimensional printers are becoming the wave of the future, revolutionizing science, tech, health fields. Our Jake Reiner joining me now for this News Channel 5 special report. And you found out that several places on the Central Coast are actually using this new technology for all sorts of important things, not just the cool things that sometimes we see on YouTube or something.
Yeah, Spencer, from bike helmets to Navy satellites, the idea of designing something on the computer and printing it in 3D is huge. Take a look at something small like this. This little pink frog right here is a small example, but it was printed right in front of me in just a matter of hours. And technology like this can give designers and manufacturers the ability to print out as many models as they want until they get the exact one they want in no time.
From the screen to the printer to a three-dimensional reality.
You can see there, it's starting to come to life.
If you can design it, you can print it.
You could iterate your design in just a few days, for example, as opposed to weeks or months.
The prototypes are literally heating up.
Basic idea is to build the model up in layers, sort of like a hot glue gun on a robot arm.
For some, it's the building blocks to education. For others, it's a livelihood. Here on the Central Coast and beyond, 3D is revolutionizing the world of manufacturing. At BRG Sports in Scotts Valley, employees ride these to work because this is what they make.
On the top, this is the fully 3D printed model, and then on the bottom you can see this is our production model.
You can't actually wear this while riding a bike. It's the 3D printed model for the helmet BRG makes.
This is an example of a final product with a detachable chin bar. Now let's give you a look at the 3D model that came before this final product. This is the 3D printed model, and as you can see, it's hard to tell them apart, and putting it on, pretty much the same.
At BRG, 3D is huge. It allows designers to produce model after model, making the tiniest of adjustments along the way.
You know, we might go through this 10, 15 times before we get the components to fit exactly the way that we want them.
And check this out. From surveillance drones to small satellites destined for outer space, the Naval Postgraduate School in Monterey is making those parts and more from this 3D printer.
Whenever you can save money on your design and shrink the time it takes to put something in orbit, everyone's happy.
Astronomical engineering PhD student Gio Minelli says these models will set the stage for future satellites made from space-age materials.
The plastic needs to be really resilient, and so we're just now getting to the point of where we can print not only really high-quality plastics, but also metals.
And one more thing hot off the 3D printer, the ultimate tracking device developed right here at NPS.
You can think of this as a giant GPS soccer ball.
And to prove this isn't all rocket science,
I'm really just turned 7 September 25th.
This Santa Cruz business called Maker's Factory believes next-generation 3D technology has to start somewhere. Why not with the next generation?
You're going from 3D in the virtual world back to 3D in the real world, and that is an educational process in and of itself without them knowing it.
CEO David Britton says 3D education in the classroom is his mission.
Making the circles of a castle, I'm making like the cylinders.
Teachers can now upload lesson plans to the game Minecraft, allowing students like Logan to learn and create in 3D with the click of a button.
I made this like really cool house with one of the students.
The kids are keeping us on the edge of technology. They drive us.
Kids as young as 7 seeing their futures in 3D. You may never look at printing the same way again.
The Maker's Factory in Santa Cruz is already in a number of elementary to high schools throughout Santa Cruz County, and the hope is that those students will continue to develop the technology even further. So really, Spencer, we've just scratched the surface of 3D printing right here on the Central Coast.
Yeah, and it's fascinating to kind of watch where this goes, the beginning of this technology really still, and to see where it develops after here. That's going to be the really interesting thing to watch over the next several years.
It's still in its infancy.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Jake.